So this isn't exactly how I thought I would start my first video, but here we are. This is life. On January 21st, 2021, my now husband and I decided we were gonna stop doing, or I was gonna stop taking birth control. We got married on January 23rd, 2 days later, and we are now going on about 13 years together. So we're gonna be married for 6 months, but together for 13 years. We met back in 2008 when my husband came home from Iraq. I graduated high school. I was 18, he was 22. I deployed with my older brother, and that's a whole nother video. Anyways, we decided we wanted to start a family, and now that we're older and married, let's do it. So it took 6-ish weeks to get a period, finally. So on March 2nd, I got my first period. On the birth control that I was on, I didn't have a period. I got symptoms, I got grumpy-ish, but I never actually flowed. So I was lucky in that aspect, but once I came off birth control, it took a long time for my body to just be like, oh, hey, welcome back. I had a lot of really strong, heavy periods and always cramping. So I was on birth control for 7 years. 1, we weren't married. 2, we weren't really ready. And 3, it helped with everything. I don't have PCOS. I don't have endometriosis. I don't have anything like that. I just have bad, crappy women periods. Yay, me. So anywho, got our first period, super excited. And then tracked ovulation, did the dirty, the baby dance as they call it. And on March 31st, which would have been the first day of my next period, found out we were pregnant. Was 1, very shocked, 2, overwhelmed, just like, and I always thought I was gonna be the person that did like this whole surprise, we're pregnant announcement to my husband, cause I'm crazy like that. No, I couldn't keep it together. He was literally at work and I called him and I was like, I'm pregnant. Well, we're pregnant. And he was like, why are you crying? Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that what you wanted? And funny, but I was like, no, it's fine. I just didn't really think it would happen that quickly. My mom took a while to get pregnant. And then when she did get pregnant, back in the day, they gave her anti-nausea medication, which actually ended in her having a miscarriage. It caused that. So she was anti nausea medication or anything like that. And then finally took a while, then she did get pregnant. And then she figured it out and popped out 4 more. So, well, 3 more, there's 4 of us total. And now I know times have changed and all this kind of stuff and they have things now, but just backstory. However, my husband's mother also had a miscarriage in between her 2 kids. So I don't know if, and I don't think it does, but in the back of my head, I'm like, it's genetics. I'm not gonna get pregnant. All these things, blah, blah, and everybody's different. So, needless to say, it was quick, easy. Here we are. Fast forward, I had heavy cramping, which everybody's like, that's implantation, blah, blah. I just felt really heavy and crampy, like I was just about to have a period. It was very strange feelings. Not like the constant cramping that you get with cramps, but just that feeling and that bloated feeling, but didn't. And then one day at 7 weeks and 6 days. Oh, I was super nauseous too, like nothing, everything. And I was throwing up, like nothing wanted to stay down. There were days where water didn't want to stay down. And then there were days where I could eat a little something. And then I'd wake up on Saturdays and I'd feel fine all day, and then wake up on Sunday and was horrific. It was just a lot. And I was still working, like trying to go to work. And I work an hour away from home. So I commute to Annapolis every day from Delaware, and it was rough. Mornings were rough. I quit drinking coffee, so I was tired on top of tired. And then on top of that, like pretty much all that I could eat was carbs. So like waffles and crackers, animal crackers, like nothing that was like, oh, don't eat, no eggs, no nothing like that. I could eat Chick-fil-A. Me and Chick-fil-A are best friends. Anywho, so around 7 weeks and 6 days, I went to the bathroom when I had gotten to work, and I had this discharge with a tinge of red in it, and I was like, what is that? So I calmly went back to my desk, and I called the nurse's station at my OB's office, and she was like, just go get it checked out, and we'll go from there. Well, my first appointment with the new OB that would be delivering the baby wasn't till like May something. I don't even remember now. I was gonna be close to like 10 weeks, 11 weeks. It was a phone call. It wasn't even like an ultrasound just to make sure I was still pregnant. So I was freaking out because I didn't know what was happening. Anyways, went to the ER right there at Annapolis. Got saw right away. Got seen right away. They did an ultrasound, saw a little peanut and the heartbeat, and everything was fine. They said just to do pelvic rest, relax, everything was doing fine. Everything looked healthy. I looked healthy. My labs came back fine. My urine came back that I was pregnant, where everything should be. So that was that. Had a follow-up a couple days later. Had no bleeding. Literally, it was just that tinge of red in my discharge. Nothing else. No heavy, no spotting, no nothing. I still had the discharge like you normally do if you're pregnant. So my first ultrasound wasn't until May 17th, which was a actual like appointment, like booked everything. That was gonna be our first ultrasound. So my husband and I went. We were 10 days, 6 weeks. She did a stomach one first, like over, and then she's like, okay, go empty your bladder. We're gonna do internal ultrasound. And I got up, went to the bathroom. When I came back in, she wasn't in there. My husband was in there, and she just had told us, you know, I had to get undressed from the bottom down and everything. And I said to my husband, I didn't see a heartbeat. And he said, well, I don't know what we were looking at. And I was like, of course you didn't. I was like, you didn't see its little head? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, go figure. He's like, don't worry, it's fine, it's fine. So she did the transvaginal and everything, and she put it on to hear the heart rate and clicked it off right away. And then she and then she pulled it out. And she's like, I'm really sorry to tell you, but there's no fetal heart rate, and the baby's not moving. So at that point, I lost it. And I said, I know. I had weird feelings. I wasn't excited for the appointment. I didn't say anything to anybody. I did say something to my sister-in-law the Saturday before, because the appointment was on Monday, that I wasn't excited and I was nervous. And she's chalked it up. She's like, oh, everybody's nervous. Everybody's just kind of worried. No, I was probably realizing that something was wrong with inside me. Anywho, so she was like, she's like, get dressed. I'm really sorry. You're going to speak with the doctor. Because I was like, what do we do? Got dressed, waited about 10-15 minutes for the doctor in another room. She came in, she told us we have 3 options. Option 1 was to let my body do it naturally. Option 2 was half natural, half medicine, which is where they take and where you put 4 pills up as far as it can go, and it just starts everything and done. And then the third option was a DNC. They put you under, get everything out, wake you up, blah, 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 go home, and then you just have your normal life. My husband and I decided we were gonna go with number 2. And that's where I'll stop there for a second. So I pulled up my lab report from when we were there for when everything went sour. Everything seemed to stop after I went to the ER the first time, is kind of how I see it. I think that was its first way of telling me that something was not right. So like I said, I went to the ER at 7 weeks, 6 days. When we went for the ultrasound at 10 weeks, 6 days, it came to say that the baby only made it to 8 weeks, only measured 8 weeks, 6 days. And sorry, I'm reading as I'm doing this. The mean sac diameter estimated 9 weeks, 6 days. So a week from going to the ER, something happened and the baby's heartbeat stopped. So it was a miscarriage. My body didn't realize, but I guess eventually it started to, but I never started bleeding. I still had all of my symptoms. I still was tired. I was still sick. I was still, all of it. And then, so we're talking to the doctor, obviously. We decided to go with the second option. So they called in the prescription. She talked to us for a little bit, devastated, crying. I couldn't hold it together. My husband did pretty well. He's he's in the Army. He knows how to hold his emotions together. He did get sad, don't get me wrong. He's not like emotionless. I think he was just more worried about me, which probably a good idea because I wasn't doing well. So everybody knew I had an appointment. My mom, his mom, my dad, my brothers, like the family. So this started us trying to have to tell everybody that, because everybody was going to text me eventually and say, how did it go? Do you know? Blah, 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 all this stuff. So we had to call. So that was not fun. So came home, got the prescription, came home, and I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I need to do this. So I laid on the couch after, and immediately, like 30 minutes in after doing that, I started cramping. I started having pains. It was like a small dose of what labor is gonna be like. I can't describe the feelings and the emotions. And then obviously I went to the bathroom and then I was bleeding and all that kind of stuff. And I lost it because it was just the actual feeling of this is real. This is what's happening. got really heavy, and then we kind of I just laid on the couch for a week and a half. I tried to go out and do a couple things. Finally, the one day, my husband's like, come on, we need some fresh air. We're gonna go out. We're gonna get you out of this funk a little bit. So we did that. It was hard. I couldn't stand up straight a lot of the time. It just from the cramps and everything. But all in all, it took about from that Monday to about that Saturday, Sunday to finish like really bleeding. And then I just had like light tinge, light discharge, all that. And a constant reminder that, hey, you're not pregnant anymore. Hey, you're not pregnant anymore. I think that was the hardest thing. Was the constant reminder of it went wrong. So I stopped bleeding, called the doctor, because you have to do an ultrasound to make sure everything came out and there isn't an issue, because there's other things that can happen. Ultrasound was on June 7th, and everything is out. We're good to go. They just said give it a couple months to kind of get a cycle back, and then try again. Plus, your uterus needs time to rest. Now, I know a lot of people can get pregnant right away because they ovulate. I've seen tons of videos. I've done tons of research. I've watched all the videos. I've cried with people on YouTube. I've been on forums with a bunch of people. I have stuff that I'm gonna share in a second that I've been talking to. It's been really helpful. Obviously, having people to talk to that have gone through this is comforting. So that's why I'm sharing my story, because I don't think it's talked about enough, and people just try to shove it under the rug. Still very emotional, still have my up days, my down days. I still feel guilty for laughing. I still feel guilty for having alcoholic beverages, for eating a sandwich because you're not supposed to have deli meat. Just weird things kind of trigger me. Ultrasound was really overwhelming just because seeing other pregnant people, them getting their sonogram pictures, and then going back to the exact same room that we found out that the baby didn't make it. So just a lot of things. So that's where we are right now. But I think what will help us move on and me move on is the thought of trying to try again. So we are 26 days since the first day of the bleeding, of the miscarriage. So we are patiently waiting for Aunt Flo to come. They say you can have it anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, just depends, and then longer if you're further along in your pregnancy when you miscarry. So I have been tracking ovulation, my HCG levels, not by blood test, but just by watching the line go fainter on pregnancy tests, the cheap ones from Amazon. Obviously, it's kind of hard to figure out if you've ovulated after a miscarriage, because ovulation sticks, which I found out, ovulation sticks pick up HCG hormones. HCG sticks, which are the pregnancy test, don't pick up LH, which is the hormone that you watch rise and fall for ovulation. So these are the 3 that I've been using. This one is the Easy Home Pregnancy Test. Amazon. It goes with the Pre-Mom app that I use. And this one as well. This is the Pregmate Ovulation Test. And then this is another just pregnancy test that actually came in the box with these. So I got a bunch of these and this, and I think this box was like $12 and this box was like $8, and I got like 40 of them, 50 of them, something, which is nice because when I did find out I was pregnant, I spent a lot of money on the expensive pregnancy test, and those aren't cheap. And I am what they call a serial tester. I wanted to make sure it was going up and everything was fine, as much as it was. And then these. And I feel like these kind of work a little bit better than these pregnancy tests. These ones showed a lot stronger than these ones as I was going down. So that's just that. I think it picked up better. So first off, this is when we were trying to, I also have bought the expensive ovulation tester. So I just would write the date and if I took it in the AM or the PM and what it said, and those are all ovulation tests, and then I would throw a pregnancy test in there sometime. This was my peak. You can't really tell. These were my peak days, and then it goes down. See how the line gets lighter, but nothing. Didn't see anything on the 22nd. But then down here, and you can't see anything on the PM of the 30th, but then I took a pregnancy test, which I had so many. I had like a bouquet of them. I decided I didn't want to see them anymore, so I threw them away. I don't know if I regret that now or not, but constant reminder. And then I obviously wrote that I started saying that I was pregnant on the 31st and I miscarried on the 17th. So then I decided that I was going to track everything on my journey downwards. So this is everything that I've done from, and I started the 26th of May when we miscarried on the 17th. So what is that, a week later? A week and some? Yeah, it's like a week and a day. I decided I was gonna start. So obviously it shows I'm pretty sure that this is showing high because it's picking up the hormone of being pregnant still. So see how this is very showing still that I'm very pregnant, very pregnant, very pregnant. And then it's starting to get lighter. And then as you can see down here, my LH is getting lighter, which is a good thing. And then this is the beginning of June, which if you look here, you can barely see a line. So it's definitely a lot fainter. I decided I was gonna stop testing the HCG and just start doing ovulation. And when you scan it into the app, which I can't show you because I'm filming on my phone, when you scan it into the app and it takes a picture, it gives you a like number of if it's low or high. So you're not here going, hey, that's pretty close to dark. It tells you. So then these are the next couple of days where I have just been doing my LH, which you can see that they're pretty light compared to the control line. So I'm not ovulating. And then this is how light the lines are, which you probably barely can see or can't see at all. How light the lines are for if I'm pregnant still, or showing HCG, which it's not really, which is a good thing because then that means my period will come back soon. So like I said, we're on day 26 of after bleeding, and we're just waiting. What also has helped me a lot is I have been writing down every other night or every night whenever I really feel like it. I've been writing some affirmations. I've been writing how I feel, things that have happened to me, guiltiness, like just everything. I just got a book and wrote down. It's ironic because it really was the book that I was writing everything that I felt during my pregnancy. So I took those pages out and I started writing things that how I felt after everything happened. And those are just stuck in the back, but the front is everything about being angry, to being grumpy, to being super crampy, to crying, to D, all of the above. But it helps. It's like how I've gotten my emotions out, and obviously talking to people, but some things you don't want to say to people out loud, so I just write them down. So I'm still technically saying them, just not to another person. So that is where we are in life. Hopefully I will update again soon on a period and how that goes, because I have heard that cramps, bloating, the flow, everything is super heavy. So I'm curious to see how my body reacts to this. So I will update you. Until then, good luck.